now we have to pivot again because what we relied on for so long, which was Facebook advertising, is just a mess, just a disaster. I don't know what they're doing over at Facebook. It's like I just don't know. I don't get it. Like, why is there such almost like a lack of care for the consumer or the advertiser or even the user at Facebook? My predictions is that we might be looking at the downfall of Zuck.
Well, I think it's one of those things where you get so big, you don't care about the individuals. Like, leave. Like, what are you gonna do? Right? We're so powerful.
And I think too is that I just think they took on too much. They scooped up Instagram, then WhatsApp, then they copy Snapchat, they copy TikTok. Like, it's almost like they just took on too much. And now they can't even focus on the core of their revenue model, which is the advertisers and the users. And it's looking bad.
Well, it's interesting we're in the first stage of seeing a social media gain such a humongous user base. Like, I don't know the exact number, but like is half the world on Facebook at this point?
Yeah,
right. But we've never seen it to this scale. And social media has really started to launch in like 2008. Like, I know there was MySpace, but really getting mainstream. And we're seeing the first time where, okay, so many people in the world are on these platforms. Well, is it possible that the user base is so big that Facebook will never die? Or will there be a time where something new comes up and everyone will transfer over? We haven't seen a full transfer, like MySpace was popping, but it wasn't popping like Facebook is popping right now.
Yeah. I don't even know if there's any comparables. Like, what other thing have half of the world adapted that just dies? I think like radio, newspaper, it would really have to be like a new medium that is released, like something like augmented or virtual reality. But even in that sense, Facebook owns Oculus. They're focused on, they know that virtual reality is the next step. So it's like, maybe they are lacking here because they know what's next and they're focused so much on that.
It's super interesting as well with millennials and especially Gen Z, where I never post on Facebook, like or an organic, just normal post. I don't do that at all, but I use Facebook Messenger throughout the day. It's more now of a networking thing than an actual engagement. Let me post content on it, at least for people under the age of like 35, I've found.
Yeah. Really, millennials, Gen Zs are not posting much of their daily life on Facebook at all. I know some people who do, but for the most part, not. It seems like it's just a vehicle for advertisers and for corporations to get their message across. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think that the way that the back end of the ads manager, the cost per 1,000 people to pay attention to you at this point is so inflated. And that might just be a sign of inflation.
Do you think, though, that it's still undervalued?
It depends. It really depends. Because if you're selling a $1 trinket, no, it's not undervalued. It's extremely overpriced. If you're selling a $5,000 high ticket item, it could be completely undervalued if you're getting your leads for, $100, $200. That's how you got to think of it, is depending. It's over or undervalued.
Well, it's hard to value it because it's what do you compare it to? Because you compare it to literal media today, like radio ads and billboard ads, or because it's like, where are you going to get that much attention other than Facebook? Like, you could say Instagram, but I'm saying like Facebook owns Instagram. Like, where are you going to get that much attention?
Yeah, it's really either you put in the money into the system, and what we saw 2 years ago even were ad costs 30 times cheaper than what we're dealing with right now. Or you put in the time and you build the platform. And that's really what we're doing here, right? We put in the time, we're doing the platform and building up our YouTube and our podcast because we want to cultivate the people. We want to attract people rather than us going and finding them through ads. But we do that too.
Yeah, you can do both. You don't have to be just doing one. If anything, it'd probably be smart to do both, really.
Yeah, it really is. And there's different other different ways of getting traffic. I think diversifying your traffic is really smart, but it's really something that only more elite users or more elite companies can even really afford to do. Because like you think of Gary Vee. Gary Vee always says like post 100 pieces of content a day, and it's like, dude, I don't even send 100 text messages a day. Like, what are you talking about? You know, I don't want to do that, and no one else really wants to do that either. That sounds daunting unless you have a huge team.
Yeah. So this is the switch topic slightly because I wanted to bring this up, but it's in the same realm. So have you heard about Snapchat's new TikTok feature?
No, I didn't at all.
Okay, so Snapchat now for the past, I would say, couple months has their own TikTok like reels that you can like watch, right?
Okay.
But they're really incentivizing people to post, and I got the exact numbers here. So it says this article says to entice people to post snaps regularly, the company says it will divvy up $1 million between the most popular creators on the app per day. So basically, the payment on like views on their platform is like the highest of any platform.
Wow.
And there's very few people that are using it. So it's one of those things where if you wanted to start posting your TikTok type videos on Snapchat, you might get a potential, if it goes viral, you might get some nice money off of that.
Yeah, and it's funny you bring up Snapchat because one of my friends in California, he runs ads for an e-commerce brand, and he's been messaging me asking me, you know, hey dude, like not only are Facebook costs through the roof, but results are in the toilet. Like, are you experiencing this? And I'm like, honestly, yes, I am. It almost seems like Facebook is just it seems like the entire system's broken. Apple put out this iOS 14 update, which essentially removes pixels from being tracked. So Apple's trying to protect their users, and Facebook's pissed because Facebook now can't track users across different platforms. If you use Facebook, it can track you there. If you use Instagram, it can track you there. WhatsApp, Oculus, all this stuff within their ecosystem. But right when they jump over to Snapchat, right when they jump over to Google or Robinhood or whatever, tracking's lost. Facebook doesn't like this because now it doesn't know who you are anymore. It doesn't know what type of person you are anymore. And that's so important to the fabric. And this kind of loops back. This is why it's broken. This is why Facebook needs to get on it, because, okay, Apple gave you a roadblock, hop over it. But in this, my friends hit me up. Hey man, like, you know, things are down, but they're really expensive. What other options are you doing? I've told him about TikTok ads. And then he let me know that he's jumping into Snapchat ads. So TikTok and Snapchat ads, if you have something that is for, I would say, a younger demographic, those could be really good traffic sources for you.